Sober living and transitional housing. Guys, you need to know these warnings. This is not for everybody. I'm going to go over some fundamentals and some key facts with my experience in launching my own sober living and transitional housing here in Jacksonville, Florida. We immediately went to work. We made relationships with all the nonprofits in the city. We went to Department of Corrections. We went to some coalition meetings. We met with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and JREC, St. Johns County. We basically let it be known that we are willing to take participants that are re-entering society from incarceration that need transitional and sober living housing that has identified its sources to pay for the program fee. Again, this isn't just renting houses, guys. This is a transitional and sober living environment. There's leadership, there's house rules, there's accountability, there's drug testing. There's a lot of moving parts in this. Also, depending on the stipulations of how they are released. Some may be on probation. A lot of different participants are going to have a lot of different things that come with them. For instance, let me tell you about my experience. If you are planning on doing this, please know the ins and outs. There are a lot of risk. I'm sure a lot of you that has been looking into this niche is familiar with Andrew Lamb. You know, he says he makes all this passive income, $15,000, $20,000, probably more a month doing transitional sober living housing. What a lot of people fail to mention are you are working with people that have a lot of problems. These people are coming in and out of prison. They're coming off the street. These people are homeless. 99% of them have drug and alcohol and violent criminal charges. It's not easy to work with these people unless you have 24-hour surveillance, in-house management at all times, and not a participant you bless the job to. They all work together. They will literally destroy this home, break all the rules, and be on their way back to prison within a week, sometimes two. A lot of these participants are trouble. For instance, my first sober living and transitional house that I opened, it had all the house rules. I had an emergency phone, fully furnished, all the beds supplied, brand new, internet, Wi-Fi, everything they need, jobs that are hiring locally in the community where they can find jobs really easy. We offered transportation. Not to mention that we did have leadership and we did have 24-hour surveillance that was being monitored. The cameras would be reviewed every night just to see what happened at the home, what was going on, make sure house rules are being followed. Unfortunately, one of our participants the first week in our home burned down the entire house with himself in it. Like, these people are not always competent. You need to screen these people. And this individual, this participant, you call them participants, by the way. They're not people. They're not tenants. They're not renters. They're participants in your sober living and transitional housing program, which has leadership, accountability, house rules, and structured living environments. They do not follow this. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. These people have problems. They deserve a second chance. We're trying to help these people. And I do remember and recall when I spoke to Officer Wright with JREC, he told me from the jump, son, I know you're new at this. Only 2% of these people are going to make it through or be able to be helped. He goes, they will burn your houses down. They will run prostitution rings out of your homes. They are very good at sneaking in drugs, sneaking in people, cutting off the cameras. They are very, very good at lying and just getting by to break all the rules. Like he said, it's very, very tough. Again, it was my first one. I was getting started. I had 5 transitional and sober living facilities set up and running and operational. It was a big investment to get it going. But long story short, the participant that I brought in, he was a 20-year-old kid. He was sent to us by another nonprofit. He was homeless. He was living in a hotel. He had criminal charges. And another thing, you're going to be able to house sexual predators. You're going to be able to house sexual offenders, registered citizens. You're going to be able to house common felons. This guy happened to be a sexual predator. So there's only certain houses with certain zip codes that you can house predators. And they pay the most because they are hard to find, especially in Jacksonville. So we housed this participant within a week, maybe 2 at the most. He seemed to be doing well. We were reviewing the cameras. There were some house rules being violated, but you get wrote up. We're going to write an incident report. We're going to talk with you. Leadership's going to stop by. We're going to try to keep you on track. The third time, he initially went into the bedroom, went back to another bedroom, came back to the front bedroom. He then came out of the room completely nude and set 2 fires in 2 bedrooms. This was during the day, middle of the day. Cameras were not being reviewed at that time. We do run Ring system cameras where we do get alerts, but we review cameras in the evening to see what's happening. Unless you have someone you are paying full time to watch cameras all day, one person assigned to each house to strictly review cameras and security detail, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You cannot just buy a house, throw some beds in it, furnish the house, and think you have the transitional housing. It will not work. Your home will be burned down. There'll be a prostitution ring ran out of your home. It will become a trap house. They will sell drugs. They will sneak people in. They will cut off your cameras, and they will give you every excuse in the world that they're not doing anything wrong. They will deny drug tests. And let me tell you, they also, Andrew Lamb also speaks on this. It's not a traditional lease agreement. I don't know about anywhere else, but in the state of Florida, let me tell you, you have to evict these people. If the police come, or you ask JSO, or you ask officers to come remove this person from the home, they don't have a lease agreement, they're going to tell you it's a civil matter and it needs to go in front of a judge. You still have to pay to get this participant or this person out of your home while they are jeopardizing the safety and the other participants' ability to follow the house rules. It's not easy. So now, with that being said, we had another participant. I'm not going to say her name, but she was doing well. We also offer employment. We put people to work in our Build It Forward program to where they could start working right away on our construction sites, which is actually working on the next house for the next group of participants or people re-entering society, coming out of incarceration or reincarceration. So doing well, but somehow, even with leadership, even with phone calls, with check-ins, with goal orienting, writing down our goals, gratitude statements, she was able to somehow get back on drugs. She got back on methamphetamine, hit it for about a week before she finally had a total and all meltdown, broke a window in the house, was completely manic and out of control, causing harm to herself and others and her environment. And the police would not remove this person. They would not Baker Act them. They would not give them any help. They would not do anything, even after reviewing camera footage. So you are stuck with this person in your house. It becomes a full-time babysitting job. Even looking over your staff and leadership you have in place, this is a full-time job. It's a very stressful job. Remember, 95%, I'll say 95, out of 100% is going to be people that are not going to get with the program. They're going to destroy your home, sell drugs out of your home, run prostitutes out of your home. These people are coming out of prison and coming off the street. You got to think, why are they in prison? This is who they are. It's their characteristics. It's the mistakes they made that put them in that situation. And 9 times out of 10, most convicts, most felons, I've been doing this a long time, they get out of jail, they go right back to what they were doing, even if they are placed in a better environment. You really, got to hold these people's hand and try to get them through these programs. Leadership must stop by every day, speak with these people. But even overall, I've had a horrible experience with it. Being a follower and believer in Jesus Christ, we are a Christian-based nonprofit. We're mission-driven. Trinity Healing Homes Foundation here in Jacksonville. We give food, we give clothing. This is all self-funded. We have no grants. This is from my heart. This is from our organization, our board of directors that want to actually see homelessness be decreased and prevent homelessness altogether. But when I tell you guys, this is dangerous. It's not for everybody. I know Andrew Lamb makes it out to be such a great thing. You're just hearing the money. You're not seeing the infrastructure or what this man's really going through to make all of this run correctly. It's a lot. I would rather rent to Section 8 tenants and bring families off the street and give them structured housing. I would rather rent to traditional leases. I'm not stopping. I'm not going to give up the transitional homes that I currently have. But what I am going to do is reduce what I'm doing. It's a lot, even to go to the coalitions, to go to Department of Corrections, to make the relationships with all the classification officers to where they do know who you are. All the nonprofits in the city. I went to the housing director. I went to Housing Authority. I made it all known that we are here and we could take participants who have identified funding sources. And it could pay anywhere from $850 to $1,250 to $1,500 a month per participant. I've did more successful with sticking to veterans, working with disabled veterans, working with the elderly, people with Social Security, disability. These tend to be a lot more stable and long-term. Most people getting out of jail or coming out of reincarceration or incarceration to begin with, they're very difficult to work with. Again, I had one of my homes burnt completely to the ground. This person was able to be removed when paramedic arrived and save his life and get him out of the home. But as far as psychological issues, we weren't aware of this. Classifications never shared this with us. The nonprofit that referred to people, they never shared this. You need to screen your participants thoroughly. Do not take everyone. There are some people, guys, that are more of a hazard and more of a threat to not only your well-being, your home, your house rules, and the other participants to where they just simply cannot be helped. I know you have a big heart. If you're trying to help people, I understand. I come from that, but this is not for everybody. Please listen to these warnings. I would hate to see anyone get started in this and have their home burnt down or have someone kill themselves. We've had people lose their lives in these homes. It is not for everyone. If you have any other questions about the things that I've went through in my experience, I currently run 5 transitional sober living structured housing here in Jacksonville, Florida. The beds do get filled, but they get empty really quick. And also, you don't get paid the way you think you do. You have to wait 60 to 90 days before you get paid per these participants. The federal government only releases so much money to the state, which allows you to get paid per person. It's all negotiable, but it's not what you think. You're looking at 60 to 90 days per participant. You're still covering your mortgage payments, all of your staff, leadership fees, your security, your camera details, food, if you're putting food in the house. We do a community closet where we have clothing, because those who get out of jail, they usually have no clothing, no phone, they have nothing. They're being dumped on your doorstep to an assigned bed. And it's not a traditional lease agreement, again, but you still have to evict these people. You cannot call the police, hey, Sharon's not following the house rules. She needs to be ejected from the program and she's escorted off the property. It does not work like that. You are stuck with this person. You have to go downtown. You're going to have to file the proper eviction paperwork, so forth, the paperwork, and go file it. It's a motion. You have to go file and record an eviction on the docket, print them, serve them, have the police come take them out. That could take weeks, guys. While they're in the home, on drugs, destructing property, whatever they're doing. You can call the police, but they're only limited. They can only do so much. They can only do so much. If they're not causing bodily harm to themselves when they arrive, or they are not threatening to kill themselves with hard factual proof in front of the police, they will not take these people out of these houses. They just simply won't. Andrew Lamb seems to be doing well with this, but he should do a video and warn you of all the hazards of this. I'm coming here and I'm trying to tell you, if you're thinking about getting started in sober living or transitional housing, I've done it. I launched one. I launched a nonprofit. And let me tell you, it is probably one of the most stressful things I've ever did in my life, trying to help other people and to put this operation together where it's ran fluently. It is an initial big investment up front. I mean, just putting the security cameras on 5 houses that are recording full time, able to be reviewed, you're talking over a couple $1,000s. And these are good cameras, guys. You can't just order some crap off Amazon and put it up and solar powered. Like, you need Ring. You need something that's monitored. If an incident happens, there's a shooting, there's a stabbing, there's someone killed. This does happen in these homes. This is what you're dealing with. This is the demographic of people you're dealing with. You got to be able to rewind this footage, show it to the police, make the reports. This is all legit stuff. Just the camera systems alone, again, thousands of dollars. And you're putting new beds in every single room, guys. You want new beds. I use twin beds, square frame. I can drop you a link. If you're interested in getting my link, I have a materials list of all the cameras, the beds, the blankets, the sheets, all the furniture and where I got it from, how I furnish the homes, the TVs I use, the internet, the computers, the Wi-Fi. Again, we make these nice. I want people to have the opportunity to get on a nice computer, look for a job, do a Zoom call, do a Zoom interview, and be able to use the technologies we have to be able to get back into the world. You know, we put nice TVs in there, nothing big, nothing crazy, just a small 30-inch TV. We do give them Wi-Fi, internet, unless there's restrictions. Registered citizens, pedophile, they usually get no internet, no nothing. They got flip phones. They're not even allowed to have any way to look at anything derogatory or get online. It's just a stipulation in a lot of their releases. But these houses are nice, guys. I have a full list for my transitional and sober living housing structures that I put together. This is how I structured mine. Andrew Lamb has his. I'm sure I haven't looked at any of his mentorships or anything he's doing, but I know mine is going to be a full detailed list of everything that I bought, exactly what it costs to fund and put together your first transitional sober living house. Also, I'm going to give you all my warnings and my warning signs, the correct way to screen, the correct way to do your security, and the correct way to do your house leadership, your follow-ups, your goals, and your daily affirmations. You have to watch these people like small children. I am warning you. Do not just get into this. Your home will be burnt down. People could be killed. People can OD on drugs. There could be guys, this is a whole different beast. You might just want to stick to traditional tenants. You might want to stick to Section 8 or whatever you're doing. You can make a lot of money, but again, 60 to 90 days out when you get paid per participant. It isn't rolling in every month while you're taking vacations. One slip with security, your house could be burned down. Someone could be killed. Someone could die from drug overdose. Prostitution, in and out. That's huge, especially here in Jacksonville. One slip with leadership, someone's off. You know, one slip with security. One slip, they're bringing drugs and weapons in the house and someone can be hurt. You are literally running a program of people that are getting out of prison. These are violent, hardened criminals. These are people with drug and alcohol abuse history. This is not normal stuff, guys. I'm just warning you. Before you invest over $15,000 like I did on getting these houses started, it's a long road to get all that money back, recover it, and start seeing a profit margin, especially after you have to meet everyone and set up the structure for receiving participants. You have to go to your housing authority, go to the director of housing in your state. You need to know every single nonprofit, reach out, make those relationships, changing homeless, veterans, disabled folk. Like, there's so many people you could reach out to, but that takes months to make those relationships and start receiving participants. And you better make sure you got your process right. You better make sure you got a staff that is intact. And I'm not saying one leader. You need security measures, security options, someone watching security all day, every day, not just reviewing footage at night or if something happens, you'll lose your house. All day long. You need one person watching security all day. You need leadership that is either living there, that is sober, that isn't participating, just living there to watch everyone and manage. Or you need to find someone that's coming there every day, 3 times a day, morning, lunch, and night. There's a cutoff time at 10 o'clock at night with those doors automatically locked. They will break the locks. They will go out the windows. They will go out the back door. Just trust me, guys. Please do your due diligence. I know Andrew Lamb says this is great, but it's not great for everyone, and it is not easy to do. Don't just hear the money. You got to see the system and the process for it to start eventually working correctly. If you are interested in starting your first transitional and sober living housing program, please listen to this video again and again. If you really insist on starting one, if you think you got what it takes, click the link on my channel. I'd love to mentor you. I'd love to show you how I did it. My house rules are a little more stern. My programs ran a little more tight. I outline a lot more warnings. I can give you my material list. That's also going to show you what it costs to a T to start your transitional or sober living housing program. Basically what I spent from start to finish on each house, which house you should buy, which ones are the best to use as far as neighborhoods, location, as far as zip codes for what participants you can place in what particular housing in what area. There's a lot to this, guys. I do not recommend getting started without a mentor. Again, I feel like Andrew Lamb lays it out there. He puts a lot of information out, but I'm going to be the guy that's more technical. I'm going to walk with you through the cracks of where everything can go wrong. You may be cut out for it, you may not, but if you're interested in starting your own transitional and sober living housing program, I'm the guy. DM me, send me a message, reach out to me. I'll let you know what it takes for me to walk you through step by step. This is also a program, guys. You're going to get with me on a Zoom call. You're going to get phone calls. You're going to get coaching. I'm going to take a look at your property. I'm going to tell you the best way to structure this. I'm going to help you from start to finish to get it up and operational, as well as give you a list of who you should call to start receiving participants. Again, mine's a little more thorough, but it's also a lot more on the warning side. You have to be careful with this, guys. Our goal is to help people. Our goal is to change homelessness. Our goal is to make some good money doing it in the meantime. I'll see you then.